Have you ever canoed down a babbling brook?
No, but I have cried at a Taco Bell.
Oh, same thing. Listen up, campers.
It's time to buckle up, pitch a tent, and take a hike.
Because Camp Counselors is a variety show.
So prepare for a good old-fashioned kumbaya,
Weird news,
hot gossip,
and scary stories around the campfire.
so spooky.
Is this podcast even about camping?
No, but it is camp. This is Camp Counselors.
Hey, happy campers.
Welcome back to Camp Shady Birch.
It is week 132 here at camp. Things are warming up. I hope you're wearing your sunblock.
I don't want to start the show off with a brag, but I'm going to. I have walked 13,000 steps today. So walk a mile in these orange Crocs and you would understand how it feels to be me. I'm wearing a slightly cropped tee. I went on a long walk through New York City today. I am allergic to gluten. I have ignored it for years, but my distended abdomen would tell you the truth about my body, and it's not processing gluten because before I went on a walk, I had 2 cold pieces of Papa John's pizza. The flavor topping was onion and mushroom, no protein because my man is a pescatarian, and we're not putting shrimp on pizza. I felt fat, but I felt sassy. On my walk, I did have an iced latte. It was too big, a lot of cream, and something about my body that you didn't ask about was when I drink liquids too fast, I do feel the sloshing, which I feel like typically most people only experience once in a great moon. That happens to me quite a lot. I can hear audibly the sloshing of the liquid in my stomach. I went into a Whole Foods thinking I was gonna get something sassy for dinner. I went to the hot bar section, instantly was turned off by everything because it was past lunch. And I said, no, I don't know what this is. I was gonna get you crackling cauliflower, but I was nervous and I couldn't figure out what it was. And when I read the ingredients, they were so long I didn't want to do it. I left the Whole Foods after walking the entire store with a basket and said, I'm going to Barnes & Noble. Went into Barnes & Noble, tried to find the book that I lost on our trip to Washington, D.C., repurchased it, and now we're here.
And I sat in front of my computer and edited.
We had different days today.
Yeah, wow. You had like a nice, I don't want to say leisurely, but like you had a long day.
Well, it was leisurely. It wasn't like I was doing anything serious, but
Yeah.
that was my day.
That's nice though. You got your steps in for sure. Your stepometer.
I know, but I'm still bloated. I'm giving 7 months.
Were you wearing those jorts when you did it? He's wearing jean shorts. Were you wearing jean shorts?
Was it important to call out to audio? No, I'm just curious. Was there? I sensed a tone. Are you angry at jean shorts?
Well, check your sensors because they're off. My question was because I would think that would be uncomfortable. So to me, you are braver. But
Honey, I'm a New Yorker. I can walk the streets in jorts for 6 miles. And I did it, and I'm proud to do it again.
I think the statute of limitations is you have to live here for like 6 to 8 years to call yourself a New Yorker.
I think to call yourself a New Yorker, you could live, I think it's 10. I think that's the fair amount.
Well, I think in this day and age, paying the city taxes, it should be too.
I know. The thing is, we live in New York. I love New York, but like in my core, the girls know I am a Massachusetts babe through and through. I always tell people I'm from Massachusetts, but I live in New York because I love this city. I'm here for work, but it's not who I am.
You can take the girl out of the scallop, but you can't take the scallop out of the girl.
Yeah, I'm a masshole for life. But you know what we did this weekend? Should we tell them about our little escapade?
And what if I just said no? And I'm like, no, let's just be coy about it.
And then we're like, lights out, campers. They're like, why was this episode 2 minutes? Campers, so you know me. In my heart, I am spontaneous. I almost bought us tickets to go to Florida for a day so we could go to Disney World. I don't care. I'm a Disney adult. And I thought, A, financially irresponsible. B, kind of cool. C, Jonathan selfishly got a hair transplant, so the boy can't sweat or wear a hat longer than 2 hours. So I knew a theme park was not the time right now, even though I've been itching to go because I'm seeing it all over my For You page. I am a Disney adult. I don't care. But my gum line is pretty normal, so I have that for me.
Oh my God.
That's a very funny observation when they make fun of, like, it's always like military wives with big gums. It's rude, but it's funny. People make gay jokes. I can still laugh at them. Whatever. I'm digging myself a grave right now. And you know what? I'll lay in it.
Wait, can we switch perspectives and I can say my perspective of the day?
Really quickly.
Go ahead.
It was Saturday morning. And the thing is with you, Jonathan, and I think it's really important to like peel back the layers of the work relationship and then kind of dive deeper into what it's like to actually date you. First of all, the best choice of my life. I love you so much. Now I can be real. Don't get sad.
I didn't say a thing.
Okay. I could feel it though. There's an energy shift. It almost felt like a vortex in here. Tornado warning. Some campers might relate to this with their partners. I am the more spontaneous one of the two. Therefore, I know if I want to do something that hasn't been planned for 2 months out, I have to really think about how I broach this situation with you. I have to come in cautious with my tail between my legs and make you feel like it's kind of your idea as well. And then I get what I want. I knew Florida was a big swing, and I didn't take that swing. I sat back on the bench, put myself in the dugout. I said, rethink, restructure. Where could we go for one night that would be relatively inexpensive, but also enough to crave my travel itch? I suggested Washington, D.C.
As close to Potomac as we could get without being in Potomac.
I wanted to visit Karen Huger in jail, and they said no.
You weren't on the visitors list. No, you're right. I don't love to do spontaneous things, but it's not that I don't love spontaneity. I don't like surprises. I don't like surprise parties. And I don't like being the last to know. That is a trigger point for me. But my main thing is because like even on weekends, like I'm working every day, you know? So have things not being planned out, then the workload intensifies in other ways and that stresses me out.
I know it is because you work like a goddamn mule and I'm your prized heifer.
Like I was editing the podcast and it was like 11 o'clock in the morning and you were like, hey, why don't we go to Washington, D.C.? And I said, okay. I didn't give you any. I was so down for it. I was like, that does sound fun. I do need a break. But with that came editing the podcast on the train, which was fine.
I know, campers. To know Jonathan is to know that he is constantly writing or editing this podcast 24/7. We love doing it, but it is so much work on you.
I don't trust editors. I'm sorry, but our editors of the past have not showed up when we needed them to show up.
I know. So maybe third time's a charm because our first two editors did not make the cut because Jonathan is a perfectionist. Thank God you are.
Yeah, because I'm not going to accept getting the episode sent to us midnight, 3 hours before our network requires us to upload it. Sorry to bore everybody from behind the scenes, but that's my life.
I'm trying to say is at some point you got to let go of the reins if you want to pursue other endeavors. So if there is a camper out here who is a skilled editor in video and audio that wants to take over Jonathan's position and be camp editor, that application is constantly open until we find a goddamn editor and we will pay you well, please. But I was going to look, I looked at flights and flights were $650 for round trip out of New York to fly in Saturday night, come home Sunday night. And I was like, ugh, that's expensive. How much is Amtrak? Amtrak is so expensive if you book it last minute. It's kind of stupid. The train is going with or without me and there was open seats.
And we didn't even go to the cafe car.
It was 3.5 hours from New York and then 3.5 hours back because that's how time works, campers. I will say, as this was my first real time on the Amtrak doing like a trip like this, I've used it before. We went from Seattle to Portland years ago. So second time big boy on the Amtrak. Other than the price point, which I think was atrocious, but people have told me if you book it out earlier and we were better planners, but that's not the point of the episode. It's about spontaneity, campers. So it was expensive, but I will say the ride was smooth. The seats were comfortable and we got there at a great time.
And I did have leg room, I will say.
And it was pretty.
It was pretty. Lots to look at. I didn't like the tunnels. Those were spooky.
I liked looking at Baltimore.
Oh yeah, that was nice.
I don't know why.
Pretty.
I was just singing Hairspray out the window the entire time. And we were in the quiet car. I'm joking, we weren't.
You can't
stop the beat inside like racing down the tracks. See, I'm obsessed. Yeah, so we took the Amtrak and I figured that you could edit on the way down, 2 birds, 1 stone. We did get into a fight about the glare of the screen. I was trying to have you switch seats with me. You were getting mad at me. We had a public fight. It is what it is.
It is what it is. It's just a high tense situation and I was just in my mode.
Well, I'm glad that you could edit Monday's episode, but still give us a reason to have a fun day in DC. So we got there at like 7:30. We took the metro there. The metro there is atrocious. They don't have no tap to pay.
Oh my God, that was shocking.
I know. They made me buy a card. I'm like, why am I buying a plastic card for $2? Let me just tap on my phone.
I think it's because like that is the transformation that happened in New York City like 3 years ago was they started getting rid of that, and everybody can just like, you can tap to pay. You can literally tap a credit card,
I
your
love
whatever.
you. You don't ever need to stand up for big business.
I'm not standing up for them. I'm just saying they're behind on the times. They need to get with the times. It should be simpler and it should be cleaner. Like, let's get rid of the single-use plastic.
Waste. Exactly. But the train, it worked, and we got to our hotel, and the next day, I asked a lot of you on Instagram which museum we should go to because we only really had the afternoon. And like, one thing about me is I can museum out pretty quickly. It's a lot on the feet. It's a lot on the toes. It's a lot on the mind. So we woke up early. I thought I was going to shut myself the entire morning. I had a coffee to activate it. I did some stretches. I like to stretch my hip flexors. I go into some sort of squat. I sway side to side.
Did Gab teach you that?
No.
Oh.
YouTube did.
Oh, okay.
But I can't leave the house until I go to the bathroom, because the minute I get to somewhere without a bathroom, my body, it's awful for me. I asked you while we were in the hotel room before we left to do the bicycle move on me like I was a toddler.
But I was not going to do it. I was not going to because I didn't want to get into the firing zone.
I already know that your health needs to decline before mine does, because I am a really good caretaker for you, and I feel like you would put me in the home.
No, I would not. I'm just not trying to get a blowout. You would have an absolute blowout up the back of your back.
You're being crazy now.
Like a baby sneezing.
I needed help. And I have been nursemaid to you for weeks on end. And the one time I called to your name in my time of need, you said, absolutely not, skip. So then I was just gassing on the bed alone. I was doing my own little bicycle moves on my back, but I needed the force of your arms on my thigh. And this is love, Kippers. This is true love.
You were gassy.
I was, oh my God, you didn't smell the hallway.
No, you weren't just gassy.
I was crop dusting the coffee shop because I didn't feel well.
I know. I was like, why is he going around looking at all the mugs on the wall?
Oh my God.
He wasn't.
It was Starbucks. They sell DC, they sell Maryland, and they sold Virginia. Who is buying those other than Bronwyn's husband from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City?
There are collectors.
What are you going to do with them all?
I'm always going to take a peek at whatever design is on them.
I think magnets are a really safe way to go.
Magnets are a good collector's item. We didn't get a magnet. I was going to we'll get into that in a second, but shall we carry on with the day?
Well, the first stop on our day in DC, which I thought, back to what I was saying before, what a great little trip. Spontaneous trip from New York. 3.5 hours by train, not even bad. So we wake up early. I finally get to go to the bathroom, and then I was like, I have never in my life seen the Lincoln Memorial.
Big Dinkin' Lincoln.
Big Dinkin' Lincoln. First of all, there's something quite also too, campers. If you're watching this and you need some more visuals, we did do an entire Patreon vlog. It's up there now with our own commentary, but we'll put a picture up right here. There is something about the Lincoln Memorial to me, his face feels a little animated, almost Pixar-y.
You were looking for something more realistic. And I think it's his eyebrows.
I don't know there's something about the Lincoln Memorial up close. It looks cartoony.
I think something happened in like the 80s, and this could have been a dream.
80s.
But I think like a finger fell out, like the great Lincoln finger fall off. The finger fallout. Something happened to the statue in the 80s. Maybe I'm making that up, but I think
I'm talking about his face. I wasn't his fingers are like
it could have been his ears, it could have been his mustache. I don't know, for all I know.
It was very well done. And the thing is, the girls aren't sculpting anymore. And when are we gonna talk about that?
Yeah, head to Patreon for that next week.
In Greece, in Rome, they were chiseling they said, give me some marble. I'll make you the most gorgeous, lifelike human sculpture. And they were doing it left and right. You go to any goddamn fine arts museum in the whole country, there's going to be a stunning, like Greek god, their goddess there.
Because, we have in America.
What?
Cardboard cutouts.
Oh my God. That's truly the downfall of art came from cardboard. So what I'm trying to say is we're not doing that enough. This one felt a little more animated, but it was quite grand.
It was grand. It was very large.
I love Lincoln. What a guy.
Me too. He's really hot.
And then he was hot. And then we walked down to the reflection pond, We saw a bunch of gorgeous little ducks, baby ducks galore. Oh my God. They were performing. They could live anywhere in that area. They said, no, I want to live at a tourist attraction. I want people to gawk and goop and gag over me. And they could have swam to the middle. These baby ducks were swimming along the edge. And every time a group of people would come up, they would swim over and they'd be like, oh no, we're so confused. It's like, you're performing.
Like, look at me, look at my
They're
little
stars.
feathery butt. They were so
They're stars.
cute.
I would have put those ducks as a mother duck myself. I would have put them right in acting classes. They're
Smart move.
craving the silver screen.
They could have been in Over the Hedge 3.
There is a lot of open land in DC. Everything is quite wide and robust if you've never been before. Like, it's sprawling. Even the streets, the sidewalks, everything is wide there. We skipped the White House because
Bye.
we don't care. Absolutely not. Middle finger to the air. Peace. And then we decided to support the Smithsonian's. First of all, that's one thing America did correctly. Creating free museums that are truly world class, available to anybody. I don't even think you have to be a citizen. I think anybody coming to this country.
They didn't take
There's no
any
ID.
ID.
I just think how fabulous that you could go to DC and we got the hotel on points, which was amazing. And then the museums are free. But there's so many museums, you guys.
So many.
So we asked online. A lot of people said Air and Space. We both had done that before independently.
Yeah, and I think you had to like schedule a time to go now. Am I incorrect?
Yes, schedule time to do that.
A lot of them were that they're free, but you have to you got to make an appointment, babes.
Yeah, we could have done the Holocaust Museum. We both had done that. And I said, we have an afternoon here. And I can't stop the whole time. That is a beautiful museum.
It is. I remember the
So
first time I
sad.
went in high school, it was like so heavy.
Yeah, that one. And then I was like, what's a middle ground kind of goopy gaggy museum for Smithsonian? And it really is not natural history because I didn't want to look at bones. Jonathan's just going to tell us the entire time that dinosaurs aren't real. And I can't deal with that conspiracy right now. He believes that wholeheartedly and that's fine. But to me, it's lacking any sort of fun and whimsy. And that's not the point of the trip. I can't be ruined by you being like, that's not a real dinosaur. That's not real. It's like, okay, we get it. You're better than us. So we kind of landed on, and tell me if I'm wrong, campers, we ended on the cross section of all museums there, American history. It has a lot of history and it also has pop culture and there was some fun exhibits. What did you think overall about your trip at the Smithsonian American History Museum?
I loved it. I think it was the perfect size. We got everything done. We visited the spooky cafeteria, which was too scary, so we left. We didn't even see a single food tray. I was like, I need to be out of here. It was in the dungeon. They were doing construction. Too spooky for me. I thought it was great. It was nice. It was clean. It was so interesting. They had Dorothy's ruby red slippers.
They love to advertise that. They're like, we got it.
I know. But I also know that there's multiple pairs. So I'm like, were these the ones that she wore? Because at the museum, they're usually really good at saying like a replica or this is what it would have looked like.
I think she wore 15 different shoes on set.
Oh my God.
So there's a bunch of them out there.
Shape ups.
You have to fact check that one. They had like a recreation of Julia Child's kitchen I thought was pretty fab.
That was literally next to my thing. She stole it from me. So go ahead.
The life vest from the Titanic.
Yeah, made out of cork. I don't know how that worked out.
Cork floats. You ever see a girl drowning in wedges? Feed her first.
She's just bobbing up.
It's like, oh my God, is that a body? Oh my God, no, that's a cork wedge. That's a body. And she's still strapped in. Come on, get that body, girl.
Oh my God.
If I ever drown me in cork wedges. I'll be fine.
I thought Julia Child's kitchen was so cool. And I was talking to a friend of the pod, Kenzie Elizabeth. We talked about her last week because she is the hostess. And she loves like Martha Stewart and her girl, Julia Child. And I was like, this woman, let me not undermine her. Her kitchen was stacked. Like she had so much stuff. All of it was functional and none of it was like pizzazz. Like there wasn't the razzle dazzle. It wasn't like doilies and stuff. Like obviously there's presentation with the food and whatnot. But I took one look at that and I was like, oh, this is not what I would think her kitchen would look like, even though it was on the show.
I really love a celebrity with a zany voice. You know, I kind of think it adds to the allure. And her voice was out of this world.
Did you see the clip of her when she cried when she tried that one dessert?
Mm-hmm.
Who was that? Who made that?
I don't know whose dessert that was, but I did see that video. Can you do a Julia Child impersonation?
I'm going to be so honest. I haven't a clue.
I'm just queuing it for you to go.
Well, let me give it a shot because I don't know what she sounds.
Okay, you're just gonna kind of go off of what you think. This is actually even
Because
better.
I only really know from the movie,
Have
which
you
I didn't
seen the
see.
movie?
No,
Oh
but
my
I've
god,
seen the
Meryl
trailer.
Streep burns it down. It's that good.
Oh, that's Mrs. Doubtfire. I don't
It's
know.
kind of similar, to be honest.
I'm embarrassed.
The truly child's blood. Make the cream puffs. Gently crush and cut the cream puffs.
Did she have crispy R's?
She kind of just sounded like she had like a mouthful of food. And she did because she was cooking.
Mm.
She was a queen of the ages.
It's interesting for someone of that time, and maybe I'm just an idiot, but her name was Julia, and I feel like that was like a trendier name in the 90s.
Probably because of her.
She was ahead of her time.
Well, I think babe, I'm going to be honest with you. I think Julie is an old name.
Julie Roberts.
Yeah, and she was born before the 90s, babe.
True.
So you kind of have to factor that in.
Got it.
I can't wait for like 20 more years when we have people in like political office and like celebrities and their names are like, and it's a carrot
with a Q
and Tristina.
Trisket.
Oh my god, I actually had a Trisket at your mom's house a couple weeks ago, and I was like, whoa. Haven't had one in a while, and I kind of missed it.
The plain ones are too dry, like the flavored ones.
It's literally eating a wicker basket, and it really scratching an itch for me. There was an interesting part of the Smithsonian that I really enjoyed, and it was about branding. And as a former advertising major, I really enjoyed the pipeline and the kind of like the dates of which things popped off. Like you kind of forget, campers, when did the world create mascots?
Like the scrubbing bubbles man?
Anything, truly. And like what was the need? And one of the OG mascots. You want to get your rockers knocked?
I'm gonna say I have two thoughts.
Your knockers rocked, I meant to say. I'm sorry, I wanted to get that out.
I am gonna say either Mr. Peanut or the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Mr. Peanut was pissing on the competition. He was so popular.
Yeah.
He was cracking his nut. He was spreading his seed everywhere.
Oh my god, all the peanut butter allergists are screaming right now.
Well, a big part of the idea of branding campers, this is so interesting to lock in, is that like back in the day when people made everything from scratch and we started to transition into like buying items like bread, you had to brand them a certain way to kind of show your trustworthiness so people would rebuy your product. It's like, oh, look at this, Wonder Bread. It's good bread. You remember the logo because you bought it once before and you can trust this company.
Or Bimbo Bread. You remember it because of the name.
That's a fun brand. What's special about Bimbo Bread?
The name. I've never had it.
I like to bake. Baking cookies and cakes.
No, but I think there's a bimbo factory in Pennsylvania not too far from my house. Their mascot's a cute little bear, not a bimbo at all.
Oh, it's really a thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were being facetious.
No, you know I don't like poop jokes.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing that.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. So they had Mr. Peanut. He was nutting all over the place.
That was all I had to say about that.
I thought that part was interesting too. I was reading a little bit about the critiques on certain things that were in mainstream media, that being books. There was one book about a man cheating on his wife, and it was like, they were saying that the titles they were giving it were to deter people from reading it. And I was like, I'm going to add that to Goodreads. It was the title and an author I'd never heard of before.
Oh my God, and you found it at a museum.
I did.
Do you know the Smithsonian currently has 1.4 million items in storage, but only about less than 1% of those are actually on display?
Where's the storage? Is it the
I
basement?
think it's underneath the ground.
It's probably in the same building. Why
Did
move it to
you
another?
see National Treasure, yes or no?
No.
A crime against humanity. We brought this up during our Library of Congress episode because if that's not in the Library of Congress, that baby, use your nepotism and get it in there because it's literally about you. Like that needs to be in there.
Maybe they don't want the secrets. They don't want the truth out. It's like the Da Vinci Code.
It's the truth of curation of museum. It's such a mystical kind of like, we don't even know what's going on. What are they hiding onto?
Like, what do they have? And what is a replica that you're not telling us?
My hands are so sweaty. I could never be a curator because they constantly have to take those rubber gloves on and off. It's really, ever try to put rubber gloves on a wet hand? You're talking to me right now. Not easy.
You did when we were volunteering at the kitchen.
Yeah, but it's different when the reason why you can't get it on is because your hands are wet from washing them. But my hands are just They're just
naturally damp. They're
Well, I'm
naturally
sorry.
damp state.
I'm a moist man.
It is what it is.
I really enjoyed our time. We were there for about 2.5 hours. I was exhausted, craving alcohol. My kidneys were starting to get better. And I said, no, they need a sweet, sweet vodka. So I washed one down. I had a mule and I had a delicious sandwich. And then that was pretty much that. We had lunch and then we stopped at a quick cafe because I wanted to get a coffee before our trip back. Because after I drink midday, I like to have a little caffeine to wake me back up.
It's either you continue drinking into the night and regret it the next day, or you stop drinking, start to get super snoozy, and then regret it almost instantly. And we did the latter. We had 2 drinks and then we had to take the 3.5 hour trek back home. I was sleepy, but I can't sleep on a train.
Well, I got myself a little almond croissant at the cafe.
You did.
With the tate. And you were at the table waiting for me. And I was like, I'm going to surprise my lover with this gorgeous little strawberry cheesecake. It was stunning, campers. It was so beautiful. And I said, oh, my man's going to love this. My man's going to love this. I brought it to the table. And what did you say to me?
We had just finished lunch and I felt sick. I was so full that I didn't even want a coffee because it was going to make me sick and we were about to get on a train. So I was trying to feel my most comfortable self, which does not include a cheesecake. And that was so thoughtful of you. And I said, thank you. And it looked beautiful and I'm sure it was beautiful, but I could not take a spoonful of it because I knew that would, for the next 2 hours, set me on edge. And I don't know what would happen. I hadn't pooped that day.
It was adorned with fresh raspberries and strawberries.
The raspberries were hairy. They looked good though.
And it was in a little glass coupe. And I brought it to you and you said, I'm okay. And he knows I don't like cheesecake.
I thanked you. I wasn't.
No, you thanked me.
I was very grateful. I thought it was very sweet.
I understand.
Well, we need to, everybody in the room needs to understand.
Was I hurt? Can you ask me?
I know the answer.
I'd like to be asked.
Were you hurt?
Yes. I was, the fact that you couldn't even take a little corner of the spoon and dip it and just say, I think that's what I needed. And I didn't press it. So I'm pressing it now because now I know you're not hungry or you're not overly full. And I just want you to know that hurt me.
Well, it was a very thoughtful gesture, but it was something I didn't ask for.
Campers, next time we're together and I surprise you with a little cheesecake, just remember this. And then we came home.
And then we came home and then that was that.
I think we were gone for a total, we were out of New York at 5 and we came back at 7, 26 hours out of the city.
This episode is sponsored in part by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states or situations.
Attention campers, please meet at the old flagpole under the tall pine for morning announcements. Welcome back to Morning Announcements, campers. This is the part of the show where we share news or articles with you that you might have missed that we want you to spread like wildfire. Jonathan, what do you got for us today?
So this article is coming from Boing.
Oh, it's the Wi-Fi website.
What's that?
Boing.
What? Is that a thing?
Internet Wi-Fi on planes was created by Boing. A camper out there knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, this was a Boing article.
Oh my God, the child. Boing Jr.?
By Thom Dunn. And Thom is spelled Thom.
Oh my God, that's a gay man.
That's a gay man. I did hear about this story on Jiffy Lube TV when we were waiting for your oil to get changed.
Oh my God, Jiffy Lube TV has been snubbed for the Emmy year after year. Their programming
I think
Next
it's
level.
so interesting. And I've always been mesmerized by things like that. Like hotel TV, when you come in and like, of course, they're showing you the amenities, but then Mario Lopez comes on. I've talked about it on this podcast before that I remember when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to do that job. I didn't consider it hosting, but I was like, what a very niche, unique, fun job this would be.
Juliana Rancic lost that opportunity. It
No,
was
she does the Wawa gas stations.
Juliana Rancic. I
Yeah.
haven't seen her on my TV since that Zendaya disaster years ago.
Well, I think she had cancer.
Oh, she did?
Yeah.
Well, she
was
lost her
sick.
job before that, I think.
Oh.
Well, yeah. Well, I was just saying it was set up for Juliana Rancic to do that forever. She lost that. It was a whole mess. And
No,
now
I think
it's
she
more,
might be doing it. I don't know.
well, at
but
Wawa
this is
TV.
this is about Thom, Dunn, and Boing Boing TV.
Okay.
And this article is titled "Small Dutch Town Invaded by Gingers."
Redheads?
Redheads.
Let's
yeah.
hear about it, redhead.
And I can say it because I'm like a half redhead. Last week, a massive swarm of redheads descended upon the unsuspecting village of Tilburg. That is so stupid because unsuspecting would be like they snuck in, you know? They
With,
came
like,
in.
knives and fire.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this whole town loves it. They're like, come on down, you little redheaded bitches, you fire crotches. Okay, so this is in the Netherlands. And the reason for the season was the annual Tilburg Redhead Day Festival, an affinity group gathering for the global minority known as gingers. Not really sure I would call gingers a minority. I would say there's not many of them.
I think they're a minority. That would make that a minority.
All right. Was it problematic that I'm saying what I'm saying? I don't know. Architecture student, this seemed so random. Architecture student Ellen Linderstad told whoever was reporting for boingboing.com that she had spent more than 24 hours on trains and buses from Stockholm just to get to the event, as she didn't meet any other redheads in Sweden. It's really special to be in a place where we all have red hair. Wherever you look, there's red hair, the 21-year-old said. According to the organizers, more than 10,000 people from over half a dozen countries, I almost said centuries, from over half a dozen countries attended the 3-day festival, signing up for photo shoots, speed meeting events.
Maybe dating?
Mark? Now, that's an interesting point, because what else would they need to be meeting about? This isn't a business venture unless it's like, are you coming out with like a redheaded shampoo?
Well,
Could be.
meeting of the minds.
And a variety of workshops. I went on their website, but I got very distracted. So I meant to look up what the workshops were, because this article is a little bit old. This was coming from the end of last year, but it was new to me. And I think we should all just be prepared for when the redheads attack this upcoming season in the Netherlands. We just need to know what we're prepared for. And it's a variety of workshops, apparently. Redheads like my wife. So Thom is not gay.
Okay. Is he not redheaded? Because he
Nope.
better leave this festival then.
His wife is.
Yeah, so she's going alone.
Redheads like my wife are a rare mutation.
It is. No, it is. It's a genetic mutation. That doesn't mean it's a bad thing.
Well, I don't want to be called a mutant, even though I'm not a full. How would you describe me?
You're auburn.
Besides delicious.
Auburn. Your beard is red, babe. And anyone who has a camera right now can see it. Your hair, brown. The carpets do match the drapes, but not the beard.
Yeah, so my beard is very red. Okay, so like I was saying, there's 10,000 people from all over the world coming to this. And this man's wife, she's among those with the rare mutation in the human population, occurring with roughly the same frequency as intersex people. Now we're getting weirdly compared.
Tom's trying to find that word count, and I'm not getting it.
No, because now he's trekking into problematic territory, you know?
Well, I don't know if it's problematic, but I don't know how this is like really relevant to the conversation.
They also tend to feel more pain than other people.
Now that's an interesting statistic.
And there is a hyperlink if I click it, but I'm fearful that it's going to drain my battery.
You do say ow anytime you touch your arm against something.
What?
You do say ow anytime you touch your arm against something.
I bruise like a damn cantaloupe. It's in my DNA. As the festival organizers explain, recognition is about understanding and embracing why you are different from others. The average redhead is significantly different from the average fellow with different hair color. Not only your hair color, but also your skin, your pain threshold, and your character are different. Recognize and learn why that is and take advantage of it. Wow, they're like, hone your power. You rare mutant.
Well, maybe that's some of the workshops to cover skin conditions. You know what I
That's
mean?
a really good point because I know that CeraVe, if they're not there yet, they need to be. Like somebody needs to be sponsored. Banana Boat,
La Roche-Posay.
La Roche-Posay, who's at Coppertone with the dog.
Well, now you're just going into sunblock territory.
Well, that's all I was talking about. That's really what it needs to be. If this is an outdoor activity,
Get a booth.
Hello.
Get a booth. Become a sponsor.
get a booth, become a sponsor. Okay, so hone your power and take advantage of it, you silly mutant. That is so crazy. Because the festival celebrates the uniqueness of people. It also attracts those who are different in other ways. Actually, everyone is different, and we celebrate that. Yeah, he was definitely reaching for that. Because when I was watching it at Jiffy Lube, they were like, yeah, you have to be redheaded to get in, which I think is like, that's not right.
Speaking of European redheads, there was a group of brothers in my high school. Can I say their last name? Does it matter?
I wouldn't.
Okay, I'm going to say it because I want to, and you can bleep it if you choose to.
It makes more work for me.
Okay. The Beep brothers. Okay. And they were, I believe, Norwegian. Okay.
I wonder if they were there.
They were all as tall as a skyscraper. I'm talking the guys in this family. And when I was a freshman, the oldest was a senior, then the brother was a junior, and then the freshman was in my age. So there was 3 of these brothers, and they grew up in the Netherlands. Or where did I say they're from? Norway. So they moved somewhere like in middle school. So they were like hot because they were international, but they were also hot because they were redheads, and hot because they were like 6'5", very, what's it called? Those guys that were on the boats? Not Neanderthals, that's rude. Viking-esque. And so there was something like alluring about it.
I think it's just because they come from international waters.
Yeah, and they had a little bit of an accent, but they were strong, manly men.
And it's like they knew something about the world that you didn't know.
Mm-hmm. The one that was in my grade was the shortest and blonde, but the other brothers were tall and red and strong.
The Weasleys.
I was a redhead when I was a baby, and my hair changed brown around 5 years old.
When the witch put a curse on you?
Mm-hmm, but I was born a ginger. Isn't that crazy? And then in the summertime, I do get a little bit of an auburn mist.
I was born blonde. I had like blonde, long, curly hair. In the back, I had like a rat's tail. And then it turned brown. And then when I got facial hair, it all goes red.
You love to keep your genetics on its toes.
I'm a mutant after all. It's in my DNA.
Thank you for sharing that.
You're so welcome. Thank you. Boingboing.com.
I have an amazing article this week.
Is it from Boing Boing?
No, it is. It is so amazing that I reached out to the author after and told her it was so amazing. And the only way for me to reach out to the author was to write in at the bottom for corrections.
You did tell me you did that.
And I sent an email and I said, no corrections. I just want you to know this was so funny. And I loved it. And then she immediately replied and said, thank you so much.
Oh, I love that.
So the author's name is Autumn Childress. That sounds like a redheaded name.
Maybe, yeah, because you're thinking autumn and auburn.
Yeah.
And also fall leaves, browns, oranges, yellows, warm.
Well, the verdict's out if she's a redhead or not, but this article's written by her. It comes from WRIC ABC 8 News in Virginia. And the title of the article is as follows: Snake falls into Margarita at Henrico restaurant, leaving women traumatized.
Oh my God.
This reminds me of the snake blunder of Camp Shady Birch in 1997. If you need more information on that, go to your camp archives. So Henrico County, Virginia. So it's a story you have to see to believe. Carletta Andrews said she's traumatized after a snake fell from the ceiling of a Mexican restaurant in Henrico County and into her margarita. It happened at the Patron Mexican restaurant and cantina in Sandston in the evening of April 16th. In an exclusive interview with 8 News anchor Autumn Childress, Andrews shares that she and her husband had just finished their food when she felt something on her forehead.
Oh my God. Is it hanging from the ceiling like by its tail, like tickling?
This story is multiple times I read this, I laughed out loud because it's so crazy. So she goes, this is what she said. I leaned in to take a sip and I noticed something hit me in the forehead. And I looked at my husband like, what was that? Andrew said, when I turned around, I saw a snake in my margarita.
Hold on. I have so many questions.
I don't have the answers.
Okay, continue.
Because it's just that kind of article where it just keeps taking turns and twists. And the interviews, they're just hysterical.
I'm sorry, wait. Is Autumn 5 years old?
No, Autumn didn't say that. Autumn's
No, I know, but Autumn wrote it.
Yeah. Oh, no, Autumn just knows. No, Autumn knows how to write an article because I've never reached out to the author of an article before.
You really haven't.
She's a comedian. Our girl Carletta continues. It was moving. It started wrapping around the straw.
How big are we talking?
It's a baby snake.
Oh.
And it's in a big goblet margarita.
Oh my God, it's wasted.
So it's wrapping around the straw. And she's literally wrapping up her meal. This is crazy.
This poor little snake is like, get me out of here. I'm not 21 yet. I shouldn't be here. I shouldn't be here.
Well, the rest of the story is a blur for Andrews. She recalls restaurant workers trying to remove the baby snake with a stick.
With a stick?
What are they gonna stick?
Is it Scamp Shady Birch?
With a stick.
This is Ethan in the Big Apple.
But she said another customer grabbed it and released it outside. Someone's like, I'll handle it. I'll handle it. I kept saying, please don't let it go into my purse.
Why is that her initial reaction? But honestly, valid.
She said, I left shaking. I was traumatized.
Please don't let it go into my purse.
Andrew said the restaurant offered to move her to a booth, but she just wanted to leave.
They're like, we're not going to compensate you for your drink. They're like, booth, okay?
Yeah, we can remake the drink, I guess.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
Still in shock, she posted the photo of the snake and a recount of what happened on social media. And the comments ranged from shock to disbelief and even denial. One commenter wrote, the way my soul would have left my body. Another person wrote, girl, they would have been taking me to the king. Take me to the king. Andrew said she and others are surprised that she handled the situation so well, but that she still wants answers.
As do we.
8 News reached out to the owner of the restaurant, who said he was aware of the situation.
Yeah, I know about it. Of course.
He said that the snake likely got into the restaurant through the air conditioning unit. Okay. Childress asked what precautions were now in place to prevent this from happening to another customer, to which he said, nothing.
No, he's like dead ass. Like, what do you want me to do? This is a freak accident. It's the same thing. Like, you know, when they're like, it's been X amount of days since there's been an accident, or like, oh, this elevator hasn't crashed since it's been built. It's like, well, by the next time that it does, it just resets the clock and makes the odds even worse.
Come on, it gets him media training and make up a lie on the spot. Don't just say nothing. Like, there's nothing he really can do. This
Wait,
like,
did he say quote nothing?
Quote nothing.
Oh, it's not that he didn't say anything.
No, he said quote nothing. Nothing I'm going to do.
He said, come on down for a surprise and a chimichanga.
Well, listen, Autumn is messy. So 8 News also reached out to the Virginia Department of Health to access previous inspections.
Oh.
Autumn, literally, she was like cracking her knuckles at the desk. And she was like, I'm going to write the story of the year.
She had her magnifying glass. She's a spy.
Records show.
Oh my God.
Inspectors found several violations during a routine inspection in December 2024, including mold, broken handles, missing ceiling tiles in the dish room, cracked floor tiles throughout the kitchen, and leaky ceiling tiles. Records show these violations were corrected during the follow-up inspection 6 days later.
She's messy. It's also like a lot of things, like there were missing ceiling tiles in the back.
Andrew said, precaution or not, she hopes something can be done to prevent another person from leaving scarred. She said, quote, if that was the baby, I fear, is there a mom there?
This is possibly the dumbest and best article that we have presented on this program ever.
This is the kind of news we report to you.
That was, do you have a picture on you? Because
I don't, but you can watch there's a full video of like basically.
So you can see the snake?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like you can, so basically they just took the entire news article and transcribed it to this, but this is like a video transcribed.
Oh, okay.
From like her presenting it on the news. This is local journalism. This is Emmy award winning. This is why I reached out to Autumn and said, No corrections. Just need you to say like, I just need to say like, this is amazing.
What
And
did she say? Did she write back?
she said, thank you so much.
Oh,
With a
that.
period, very dry, because she's onto business. She's an investigative
You
journalism.
were also doing this on a weekend.
But she wrote back very. I didn't think I'd even get it right back.
Well, yeah, if you're a journalist and you always have your finger on the pulse, your boots are always on the ground. There is no time to stop working.
Listen, I really just want to say my thoughts are with Carletta Andrew. I'm glad the snake didn't get to her purse. I'm really curious where the restaurant got the stick, but I don't think we'll ever know because when asked the owner, he said, we're not doing nothing. So
grab your bug juice and bear spray, campers. It's time to pack it up and take a hike.
Welcome back to Take a Hike. This is the part of the show where we bitch a little and we tell something to take a hike. You know what / who I'm telling to take a hike? First off, okay, campers, if we're listening, this is a safe space. I'm not looking for rebuttals. I'm not looking for anybody to get angry at me. I don't care right now. I'm venting, okay? Fast forward if you can't handle that. Are the losers gone? Thank you. Now it's just us cool kids. So what I'm telling to take a hike are old people. And when I say old people, just know, just know I'm saying a very specific type of old person who is stuck in their old ass, cranky, very privileged ways. The same people who are like, respect your elders. And it's like, why am I owed such respect to old people? Back in my day, I don't give a fuck about back in your day, okay? And by that, I'm not saying the things that you done have, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm venting here. The people who were at our hotel in DC were so rude. Do you agree? Yes or no? The man who tried to cut us in front of getting coffee was the same man who cut us off when we were walking to the elevator. Every time we were getting on the elevator, somebody was literally bumping in front of me when they were behind me.
Yeah, the man we were at the Starbucks in the hotel and we were in line for probably over 2 minutes. And then this man came into the Starbucks and tried to like cut in front of us. And I was like, it's not like we walked in together.
No, and he just like looked us up and down and he was like this nasty, ugly white man.
I'm like,
and I was
literally
like, you should be
months away from having a diaper on that. So
yeah,
you need to really figure it out.
And this isn't to be ageist. This was just the group of people that pissed me off this weekend. Okay, because I honestly, this is a telltale sign of having a nice week, you know, all things considered. But that just really pissed me off. And then that lady, when we were getting on the train to go home, she just was like up in arms. She was nearing Karenism. She was like, well, she didn't understand that we were like, the line was split into 3 things. It's like at a goddamn amusement park or a circus, which is what she was making it into.
You know what's crazy too? It's like nothing is better than a sweet elderly person. Like you get the default to be adorable. So it's like to choose hate and to be mean, it's kind of like working against your brand at this point.
No, it really is. Because I do love old people.
I love old people too when they're sweet. And it's like you get all the like everything melts away if you have a cute disposition. Like people will pay for your coffee. People will let you cut in line. Like you can be absolutely adorable or you can be heinous. You know what's awful too about this? There is a woman I used to work with. Okay. And I won't say her name, but she is a celebrity in my own mind. And I loved her so much. And she was older when I worked with her like 10 years ago. She was probably like 60, maybe a little less than that. And she has since retired from the restaurant that I worked at. And I've slowly watched her through Facebook slip into a version of herself that I do not recognize. She has gone through the loss of a spouse. She has like had some like income issues, but it appears that her children are helping her. I'm really airing out her dirty laundry. But the way that she now approaches life through such cynicism and like just kind of like she's so annoying about everything. Like she got mad that there was a dog in a grocery store and I'm pretty sure it was a service animal from what I was reading between the lines. And she was like anti-service animal. And I was like, to have this stance publicly is so bizarre because this was a woman I used to like slam Michelob Ultras with after our shift. And I just like think like, wow, she really chose to go the crotchety route when everything was set up because I knew her to be like the fun kind of like party old person that was like silly. And it's kind of weird to see her choose the darkness.
And I know that people go through things that can definitely change things. But the person in particular you're talking about is someone who's clapping back in the comments wildly inappropriately.
Oh my God. She literally commented on my friend's post that we worked with, like a mutual friend that we both worked with. And she's a mom and a very good friend of mine. And she was wearing a crop top and she commented on her post unprompted. She said, wow, the standard of how to dress as a mother has really changed since I was a mom.
And that's
of a
the
mom
type
of a
of
child, like a
attitude.
mom of a child. I'm like, if you have a kid and you're wearing a crop top, okay, you're a grown ass woman. It wasn't inappropriate. She's wearing a crop top.
But you got to respect your elders.
But the fact that she went out on a public forum and just commented that unprovoked, I'm like, okay, so you really have changed, because like now you're just being like mean to be mean.
Mm-hmm.
So I called my friend after that and I was like, did you see what she posted on your thing? She's like, my friend was like, I already blocked her. I can't believe she said that. I'm like, it just, sometimes when people get older, and really at any age, people just choose to lead their life with just anger. And it's like, it's really not helping anything.
Yeah, no.
You can have a bad day, but you're choosing a bad life. But I don't like that.
So that's my take a hike.
I get
oldies, just,
crotchety oldies.
Read that AARP, drink your Metamucil, and like.
You love Metamucil. Who are you talking to? You do. You love Metamucil.
So what are you telling to take a hike? What are you telling to take a hike?
So I've been very public about my disdain for the post office. And I have to really reframe this, because I have a lot of postal workers in my DMs being like, it's not us. It's not us. Well, then I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, we are generalizing a lot, but this is a big one, camper. So just sit down for a second.
So I'm not going to say that I'm anti-post office. I am anti the people that I happen to always work with at the post office. They don't like me. I don't like them. If you're a good postal worker, then thank you for doing the right thing. But there is a postal worker who works on our street that has stolen 3 credit cards from me. And once was weird, 2 was suspicious. A 3rd time, I believe it is something to be researched. So last year I had someone steal a credit card from my address that was supposed to be a replacement card, never got it in the mail. And they were charging in New York like $250 charges on Long Island to Walmarts. I didn't find out for like a month. And then when I looked at my statement, I said, oh my God, this wasn't me. I got those all removed. Then about a month and a half ago, I had another card that needed to be renewed because it expired. And it was sent to my old address in New Bedford. I was like, cancel that one. They sent me another one. This is weird, guys. 3 days after the new card was issued, or 2 days later, there was a $2,600 charge in Houston, Texas to
eyeglasses.
An eyeglass place. Now, this wasn't my local post office, but the card hadn't even been sent to me yet. So I don't know how someone accessed this number this quickly. Very weird. Then another card was sent to me. I got that one. We're good. This week, technically, a credit card was sent to our address, and it was a dummy card that was for a promotional reason. And the corner of the envelope where that card would be placed was ripped open and maneuvered and then put back in because it was a demo card, a fake card. Our mailbox in New York is a locked mailbox. And I know people are going to go out the jump and be like, oh, people have mail keys to all of our mailboxes. People can get a hold of those. And that's what everyone wants to say. Someone could have.
We have a security camera.
But people have master keys. But that's what I'm going to say is we have a camera outside of our where we walk in our door, which the mailbox is right there. So I've never seen on the Ring a random person opening our mailbox. Maybe I missed it every single time.
No, I see every single time something comes up, we get a thumbnail, and I every single time look, even if it's somebody walking by.
I think there's a conspiracy that someone in our postal department is stealing credit cards. And I posted this, and a lot of campers reached out saying there's been a lot of corruption in local mail departments. So, and then someone sent me a link. So I went on the post office and I filed a complaint.
As you should.
Because someone researched the area.
When I was the one who found, because it was actually for the podcast, the envelope just ripped where the credit card is, because it says oh, here's the brand of your credit card, or the credit card company, which I'm not going to name, is here. And it has the dummy card, and the dummy card is usually that sticky tacky glue. And that was completely detached, and it was only the corner that was ripped off by hand. It wasn't stuffed into something. It was ripped in just that corner. And kind of crazy that they still decided to deliver it.
Yeah. It's insane, but they're brazen if they're taking credit cards. I know it's weird.
They gotta stop sending activated credit cards, especially. We get so much shit stolen here.
And the bank will tell you like, oh, it's not activated. But then how did this happen twice to me? And they
Especially
weren't
when
activated
there's
twice.
nothing. It's not even you losing it. It's like there's nothing you can do because you didn't physically get the card. It was en route to you.
One was a bank card that was a Visa. The other one was a national credit card company that was a MasterCard. This is like not some. There were very different companies, very different types of cards happened to me at this. It's weird. The whole thing is weird. This third time, I said, "This is pattern." My mom, she dropped off credit card, a bank statements or like checks to the post office, and they were all stolen between the post office you dropped them off at and Providence, Rhode Island. And that was dropped at a post office and they never were picked up at the Providence branch. Someone in the middle, the independent contractors, someone stole them all and they were cashed. So
I forgot your mom was in that.
there is something going on in the post office where there are bad eggs, bad seeds, and they might be contract workers. I don't know what it is, but there is something going on, and you can ask people in your neighborhood or your area. Someone's been affected. This is crazy.
It is.
And that's what my take hike is.
Do you think the new counselor likes the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Over.
Either way, I'm giving them my boondoggle keychain. Over.
Welcome back to Camper Crush of the Week. All good things ahead, campers. Who are we loving? Who are we supporting? Who gets a gold star this week? Jonathan, take us away.
So, who am I crushing on? My camp crush of the week goes out to a social media account that goes by the name Brutal Menace _.
Wow.
Do you want to take a guess at what they do? You're not going to be able to guess, but just give it a shot.
Pictures of mice.
No, but close. They put teensy tiny mini cameras in Hot Wheels cars and send them down the track that goes through the house, like down. Ever since I was a kid and I saw that movie, Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves, with Daddy Rick, not Ricky Gervais.
Rick Owens.
Rick Moranis.
Okay.
Love him. With Rick Moranis, and they get in that Matchbox car and they use those rubber bands as like what's it called, seat belts. If I ever got my hands on a shrink ray, which I'm still trying to work out, might be lost in the mail, might be stolen from the mail, I would love to shrink myself down and just get into like a little Hot Wheels car. Wouldn't that be so fucking fun? Like that's the only time I want to live my life like I'm Stuart Little.
Is it POV film style?
It's POV and it's real. It's not like animated. It's literally like not only does he build a massive track that goes through the house, like I'm talking down flights of stairs, up loop-de-loops.
I gotta see
goes
it.
through water. At one point, he's like, "We're off the tracks, baby. This is like a lagoon, and the water outside just takes it like this, and he has like a pump to get the water to go, and then it gets back on the track." Craziness. I think it's so fucking cool, and I felt like a little kid again. Like I used to have this Hot Wheels PC game that I played like probably once because it was too like boyish and boring, and it took too long to build a track. I was like, I'm gonna stick in my territory and a roller coaster tycoon, and I'm going to keep it moving.
I was going to say, this reminds me of Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah, but I just think it's very cool that somebody is doing this. You know, I forgot that the tracks existed.
I like when people make those things too, where it's like like a ball goes down a track and it's like you see the whole thing being filmed. But this is from the POV.
Yeah,
like
it's in the car.
Person.
It's a tiny camera.
That's cool. Well, it's whimsical and it's unlocking something in you that makes you happy, and serotonin is important. So I'm glad you found that.
Thank you so much. You guys should go check it out. I need to double check and make sure that that's not like one of those weird accounts that steals shit and re-uploads it.
What was it called again?
It's called Brutal Menace _.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome so much. I was delighted to find it. So, what are you crushing on?
I am crushing on The Butterfly Effect this week.
The movie?
No, the actual thing. So
is it a theory?
Well, if you don't know what it is, it's like how pop culture in the greater community has described the idea that small changes can result in huge outcomes. The idea of I never went to that party that night, that I never would have met my husband is like kind of a very general idea of what it is. It's not truly what it is, but that's how like most people kind of understand it to be.
Like that hit Disney Channel song, Send It On. Just one spark starts a fire.
It's the kind of a little bit. So that it's the idea that everything exists right now in your life because of a chain of choices that brought you here right now. And it's kind of been blowing up on TikTok, and people have been kind of describing these like very insane specific moments where some like they missed a bus, right? And then there was a rainstorm and they had to take a taxi, and the taxi was a pool, and that's how they met this person who was on a summer exchange program, and they kept up like all these like random events that made them like find who their person is. And I think it's really beautiful. I've always like loved it from afar, and after a second glass of wine, I do like to think about my butterfly effects and get sentimental and be like, if I never answered that DM, and I never would have met you.
When it comes down to it, I don't believe that there is such a thing as a coincidence. But it is very true. Like, I see what you're saying. It's very interesting.
Well, I did some research. Campers. I know, very scholarly today. And I was like, what really is the butterfly effect? And I learned that the idea is not new and it's rooted in chaos theory. We're about to get mathematical, campers. It's a mathematical theory which states that small differences in initial conditions can yield widely diverging outcomes. It shows that what we once thought to be the randomness of a complex system is actually a system of interconnections, patterns, and feedback loops. Chaos theory suggests that all of our actions, no matter how seemingly small, have consequences. And that's from the University of Indianapolis. So the butterfly effect was coined by the scientist and mathematician Edward Lorenz.
Was he a caterpillar?
He was studying long-range weather forecasting with a computer system. So one day he ran a weather simulation with the start value 0.506127. But when he reran it, he decided to enter 0.506. So he left out those last three numbers because he assumed that the last three tiny digits wouldn't make much of a difference. He was very surprised to see that while the weather in this simulation started off similar, soon it diverged completely into different weather. He realized that weather has sensitive dependence on initial conditions. A tiny difference in weather at the start would result in a huge change down the line. As a poetic example, he later wrote, this is where it comes from, that the flap of a butterfly's wings in Brazil could later set off a tornado in Texas. So he said that, and literally, world stop. Carry on. Like,
wow.
Literally, I know. So Britannica says,
We love Encyclopedia.
Shout out Brittany.
Oh my God, Brit. What if
Brit?
This is my friend Brit, short for Britannica.
Literally, heart bleeds for Britannica because to like have your spot be taken, like for years, was top dog for the girlies.
She was a know-it-all.
She knew everything. Everyone went to her, and she had it for you. And then Googie came.
And then Wikipedia.
Exactly. And where is Britannica now?
She's on the shelf collecting dust.
So when I saw her come up as an option for me to research, I said, let me use her because I feel like somebody needs to get her back into the conversation.
What is it, Britannica.com?
I don't even know her web address.
Oh my God, we don't even know her web address.
Well, she said a really good example that kind of like ties everything together. For example, if someone says, if I haven't gone to that party, I would have never met my wife, to illustrate the effect. The concept is somewhat misplaced. The point of the butterfly effect is that small changes in a complex system could have any number of effects or no effect at all. Thus, it is entirely possible that the person could still have gone to that party and not met one's wife. The butterfly effect emphasizes that there is no possible way to predict long-term outcomes.
So basically, it's kind of like shrugging. It's like, ball is life.
Ball is life. So like the way that we kind of use it is very romantic and flowery, and it's not really accurate, but I still enjoy that. And that's my crush of the week, is the kind of the romanticism of chance.
I thought the butterfly effect was about time travel.
Well, you're going to the movie, and the movie has time travel in it, but it's not really about that. It's about just small changes affecting greater outcomes.
I haven't seen that movie. We should add that to the list. What was the other one we literally just said? Da Vinci Code? Nope. What's Da Vinci Code Jr.?
National Treasure.
National Treasure.
Truly is Da Vinci Code Jr.
We'll watch that, and then we'll watch... What movie? Butterfly Effect.
Oh, you're time traveling right now.
I'm literally... I am having an out-of-body experience.
What song's been stuck in your head all week? Welcome to Camp Songs.
Welcome back to Camp Songs. I hope your whistle is wet and I hope your pipes are warm because we're here to deck the halls with our voices, of course.
Why are
in
we decking the
song.
halls for more holidays?
Question that has plagued mankind for centuries. Thank you so much for asking. Okay, so what song has been stuck in my head literally all week? I can't believe this isn't on the playlist. It is definitely a Rio song. And for OG campers, they already know, but if you need a little reminder, or if you're a new camper here, hello, welcome to camp. But Rio, we have never seen the movie Rio, add that to the fucking list. But songs that remind us of what should be on that soundtrack.
And you have to think about that. Think about the movie Rio and say what song you can jump right in.
Yeah, that's the big one that comes to mind is the Zac Brown Band. So this kind of goes hand in hand with that. So my camp song is Rude by Magic, !
Oh my God, that was a moment in time where that was on every radio station.
Every radio station. The year was 2013, 2014-ish.
Should we sing a little?
Okay.
Why you gotta be so rude? Don't you know I'm human too? Why you gotta be so rude? I'm gonna marry you anyway.
Okay, so this song was written in less than 15 minutes.
And it sounds like it.
And it sounds like it. So the guy who wrote this, oh my God, I had his name written down. Now it's been taken out.
We should say Rio for
No. Oh my God, I forgot what his name is. I'm sorry, guy. This was like really their heavy hitter, but he wrote a lot of iconic songs, including As Long As You Love Me by Justin Bieber. The singer of this band was the writer of that song.
Wow.
He also wrote Feel This Moment by Pitbull and Christina Aguilera, which is on the camp playlist. And also Shakira's entire 2017 album, El Dorado. He also wrote the Lana Del Rey song for Euphoria.
What was that song?
It was called like Big Wet Eyes or something like that.
Okay.
Time magazine named Rude the 10th worst song of 2014. And that's all I have on it.
Was it by Nasiri Atawa?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get
he
his
goes
name.
like based just by his first name, basically.
Nasri?
Yes. It's like
Cool.
Cher, I guess. And that's that on that. I don't think I like the song, but I can't tell because I listened to it twice.
I like it. It's kind of like just like it's a Cole song for me.
It's a cold song. The lyrics aren't strong. And at some parts, I'm like, oh, we're pushing a little too Caribbean for my comfort
interesting
zone.
how like certain songs they melt into your skull. It's one of those songs where it's like everybody knows it, but we hadn't heard it in years. At least I hadn't. And when it came on the playlist, I was like, I'm kind of vibing to it.
And then you really start to like listen to the words. I'm like, oh, this is like not that great.
I'm gonna marry you anyway. Marry that girl, no matter what you say.
The cops are coming. The cops are coming. Hide my purse. Don't let the snake in.
To the police officer outside. Why you gotta be so rude? This room isn't soundproof.
Wait, that was good. You're a clever girl. All right, so that is being added to the playlist, which you can find in the show notes for you and your ugly friends to listen to in the living room, on the go, on the car, sharing headphones, wherever you'd like.
On the ski slopes if you're athletic.
Okay, so what's your camp song? What are you adding to the playlist?
Friend of the pod. It came up on the train ride back, and I was like, ugh, what a talented musician.
Is it a real friend of the pod? Or are you making
real
this
friend
up?
of the pod.
Who?
Grayson Chance.
Oh.
We love Grayson Chance.
I thought you were gonna say something like crazy.
He his songs have been on the show already, but his biggest song by Spotify numbers, you might know this one. It's called "Shut Up" by Grayson Chance. It is just, oh my God. If you're unfamiliar, Grayson Chance was on The Ellen Show in 2010 for that very viral video of him singing Paparazzi, I think in his middle school. He's kind of like a child star, but very grown now. And we've met him personally. If you remember back in the day, we had oysters with him in Oklahoma City. OG campers will remember.
We said, let's get landlocked and let's order that raw bar.
I was in town because I was doing the I've Had It podcast with the I've Had It girls. Love their show. And we met up with Grayson because he lives there. So he has been talked about on the show before. But this is his biggest song. And it was off his 2019 album, Portraits. Not a skip on that album. That truly got me through some tough times. And this song is really like a breath of fresh air. It's really like effervescently, like it's like lovey. It's lovey. Like a little bit of the song. I cannot hold my tongue. You give me much to say. I'm sweating bullets, nervous that that you push away. And when your eyes catch mine, I know I talk too much. So give me your tulips and baby, I'll shut up. He really goes falsetto there, and I hit that. You're going to hear that song and say, no, Counselor Z, he did. He did his big one with that one. It makes me really want to smoke a joint in the back of a mall, like on a first date, and then go to McDonald's and get like a large Dr. Pepper and go to the beach and be like, oh my God, I just want to kiss you. I'm so nervous. It feels like having the best first date ever and knowing that you really like them, but like wanting to make the first move. It's like it's so like coming of age, lovey summertime, but it's like got a chill kind of lo-fi vibe. It's really great. And I think he's really great. And I texted him, I was like, hey, how does it feel to write one of the best songs of all time? Because it's so good. He is such an incredible artist. So if you're looking for someone who has a lot of great emotional highs and lows in music, I just think he is such a great human being, and I respect him so much. And it's kind of cool to see someone that I remember seeing as a kid and then actually like being able to text someone like that and be like, hey, congrats on just really doing a damn thing with this one. It's his biggest song by numbers, so you might know this one, and I think you'd love it. So it's on the playlist this week.
Love it, love it, love it. Love Grayson Chance. Yeah, go stream it, go listen to all of the songs on the Camp Songs playlist.
And that means we're at the end of the show, campers. Thank you so much for listening this week. We do have new content out on Patreon. I think there's 80 tickets left to my Buffalo show. Pittsburgh sold out. And I think that in 2 weeks from now, tickets will go on sale for Tampa, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale. So keep an eye out on my Instagram for that. But we'll let you know when those go on sale. We're touring again this year, campers, with a brand new show. And it's going to be so exciting. So keep an eye out for that. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you Monday. We'll see you Wednesday, and we'll see you forever. And with that being said, lights out, campers.